Hello and welcome back. Now that we have our horses ready to go, who's going to ride them? You have two options, a professional jockey or a stable apprentice. While there is some debate, I don't really think it's a real question for a new stable. It's kind of a trap. You want a stable apprentice, and here's why. Professionals can range from the best jockeys in the game being just as bad as a new apprentice. The best pros will only sign with stables that have good prestige, and as a beginning stable, well, our prestige is dire. The only pros that would be willing to work for us at this stage are going to be marginally better, if not worse, than the new apprentices. Apprentices are also much cheaper, and unlike pros, we get to train them to our liking. So I'm going to navigate over to the Hire a Jockey page and find in the small print, where you're liable to miss it, the Hire a Stable Apprentice. Just go ahead and enter 5 for the number of candidates to interview. We're looking for a candidate that's 57 kilograms or lighter, 20 years old or under, and has a racing temperament that we like. For someone just starting out, I would suggest finding a temperament of aggressive, calm, or passive. The other temperaments are more advanced and work best when matched with a horse of a certain racing style. All the other data shown is either not important, or we will have the ability to change it later. Out of these 5 candidates, Sammy Delamere is quite good. I would be happy taking her, but I want to prove to you that rejecting these candidates is no big deal. I'm hitting the Reject All button at the bottom of the page. You want to be quite happy with the apprentice that you select. These jockeys will earn you tens of millions of dollars, so spending a few thousand now isn't going to be a big deal. Let's see how our next crop of 5 is doing. This is perfect. 4th down is Truman Wehrmeyer. We're going to take him. Gerald Blanco here is also a good candidate, but obviously Truman is better. The reason the age matters is that, like horses, jockeys retire at the same age. After investing the time training them as apprentices for up to 4 seasons, they will go pro, and you will reap the benefits for a longer period of time. So go ahead and grab an apprentice. You're allowed up to 2 apprentices, so you can go ahead and grab a second one now if you want. I'm getting a second one now, and if you also have the same problem that I do, where you have 3 or more horses in the same distance category, you will want to probably do so as well. Truman is going to be my main apprentice. I'm going to give him as much of the work as I possibly can. I'll just use my second apprentice whenever Truman for some reason can't make the race. Now let's go to Truman's page and get his training started. On his training page, we have 20 points to start with. First 6 items are the awareness skills, and we're going to focus on these skills first. I suggest picking 3 of these stats and putting a lot into one of them, a little into second, and just 1 into the third. Read the second paragraph above this table. Quote, "It is not necessarily the best thing to have all awareness at maximum. It's probably very important to listen when a designer of the game tells you that something is not in your best interest to do. Be sure to keep the level of these awareness stats at different levels. I like to pour a lot of training into one stat just so my jockey can be good at something to begin with. The other thing I'm putting some training points into is to work with difficult horses. We want this to be maxed out and do so pretty quickly. In my opinion, the experience training can wait for the first 4 or 5 weeks, as getting a baseline in the other stats is more important. You could, and I would recommend, to try a different focus on your second jockey and see how they behave differently. Now we're finally ready to start racing.